Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Crabby Morning. My name is Dylan, and I am joined with...
John.
Kayla.
Liam.
And we're joined with a special guest today,
Emma.
And we're going to be talking about cosmetology today. So, Emma, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, cosmetology can really stem from anywhere to makeup to skincare to doing hair and making sure it doesn't fall out.
Rock on.
I'm only self-taught. I learn mostly from my mom and YouTube. So if your hair falls out, it's not my fault. Don't sue me.
Disclaimer.
Yep.
But, what are some of the people that, I guess your mom inspired you to start doing cosmetology, maybe, but who are some of the other influencers that that you follow to learn about cosmetology?
Well, both my grandmothers were also cosmetology. They do hair. One of them even owns her own salon.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
I was never really that close with them, and I didn't get into doing hair or even my own hair until high school. But my mom did tell me a funny story that when I was 3, I cut my little sister's hair. And it was surprisingly straight, and she was able to fix it very easily when if you give another 3-year-old scissors, it would have just gone bald.
That is
Chop it all off.
You said you cut your own hair?
Yes. My hair used to be down to my chest, and then the very first time I cut off all my hair, my friend made me a appointment with one of her favorite stylists, and she cut my hair all the way to a little pixie cut.
Oh, cute.
And I was very emo, and that was cringy, but I looked awesome. And then ever since then, I've just been messing with my own hair. Hair's hair, it grows back. If I screw up, I'll shave it off. I've already done that. Just because I could.
What is your favorite style that you've done with your hair?
It's kind of hard to explain this haircut. I call it a faux hawk. It's all around shaved sides with a long top, and so you could flip it both sids.
I've seen that, yeah.
And Ryan the Last Dragon, that
Ryan?
that girl. Ryan the Last Dragon. There's the girl who has the...
Yeah.
That new dragon movie on...
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool.
That was really good.
The very first time I experimented with shaving my hair, I shaved the right side, just where my ear is.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got this cool-ass bar piercing on that ear just because.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Totally off topic.
No, that's super cool. Have you done I know that it's hair and cosmetology is usually for stylishness and looking good. Have you done artistic stuff with it at all? I guess stage or trying to do hairstyles that you wouldn't see in regular everyday. Have you experimented with that at all yet?
Not really, as I don't really have that many clients because I just offer to my friends whenever they need a regular haircut or color. I do like to mess around with makeup.
Mm-hmm.
I have done stuff on my Instagram where it's bleeding, kind of crying makeup, sort of, and I thought that looked awesome. I'd never really get a chance to mess around that much, especially with costume makeup.
Mm-hmm.
I do help my other friends who cosplay and go to Comic-Cons.
Oh, cool.
Do their makeup, and it's always turned out really well.
Nice. What did they dress up as?
There's one that was a fairy godmother, but it's not your typical fairy godmother. It's somebody else's rendition of it, and it's all royal, and it was a big ball gown, and it was absolutely beautiful. And I had to make her eyes completely pink with pink eyebrows when her eyebrows are black and thick.
That's cool.
And it was really, really cool. That's on her Instagram.
Other than the fairy godmother cosplay, is there any other unique styles you've had to try to pull off for your friends?
Not that I can think of. Most of the time we were just dealing with the wigs, and I would just make it so it didn't look terrible and make sure that they were well kept.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry. Have you ever made a mistake while cutting hair before? I feel like I feel like when I go to like Great Clips or my bad. Just when I cut
Sports clips,
when I
Great
cut my
Clips.
hair anywhere, and then I think, wow, if they mess up, that would be really awkward.
Just tell them to shave it. That's what happened with my mom. I had really long hair, like it was almost down to my shoulders, and my mom was cutting my hair. She's a hairstylist. Shout out to my mom. You messed up, but I love you. She was cutting my hair and she cut a little too short. I was like, just a trim. She's like, okay. She cut a little too short. I was like, uh-oh. I'm like, what? She's like, I messed up. I'm like, just shave it off. Shave it all
Oh my
off.
gosh.
It'll grow back.
I have had experiences with people cutting my hair where they have like nicked the side of my
Yeah.
ear. That really hurts.
Yeah.
But nothing like too bad, I'd say. Like not like someone like took a chunk out of my hair or anything
Yeah.
like that, thankfully.
I've gotten burned with like flat irons before.
What?
Yeah, that
Ooh.
makes sense. It's really hard to flat iron sometimes, especially if you're not having the right technique or even protective chemicals or something.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, I don't know. What do you prefer doing? Makeup or cutting hair? Do you like both equally?
I'd say makeup because if you mess up, just
Yeah.
wipe it away and
Yeah.
restart. If you mess up with hair, it will take months to grow back, or you'll just have to cut it off because it's fried.
Yeah.
Such pressure.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like you have to be like very intricate with like your hair as opposed to like makeup, like you were saying, just wiping it off.
There's actually a lot of flexibility with what you can do with your hair. It's really just the technique and knowing what products are best not to go overboard and fry your hair. Bleach, people are really scared of it, but it's not that scary. People just don't do it right or watch the proper YouTube videos, and they do it at home and then their hair falls out.
Yeah, I had an experience with that. My sister, shout out to my sister Margot. Anyways, she was dyeing my hair, and she was at the beginning. She wasn't really too into it, but I was like, yeah, sure, why not? We're just siblings goofing off. So she was dyeing my hair, and she's like, all right, I forgot what color. I think it was purple. And so she messed up, and it looked bad. It was like orange. My hair turned orange, and then she's like, why don't we just shave it off? I'm like, yeah, we can save this.
Was it after bleaching that it turned orange? Is
Yeah.
that what happened? That's actually normal, honestly. How you fix that, and you wanted to go purple.
Yeah.
You could have just put purple right over that, and it would be perfect.
Okay.
But there's toners, many a range. It depends on if your hair is more orange than more yellow, which one to use. There are a lot of YouTube videos. Brad Mondo is one of my favorites. He is extremely gay, but really, really knowledgeable. Though,
Yeah.
that doesn't really... He's fabulous.
I do have my own question.
Yes.
So I had a friend back in high school, and he wanted to make his hair silver, like because I think Avengers: Age of Ultron had just like came out, so he wanted to look like Quicksilver. But he messed it up and actually made his entire hair like bright orange,
Nice.
and he has like big curly hair.
And you
So
didn't help
it's
because
like-
you called him a carrot head.
No,
Yeah.
people were calling him Carrot Top.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Curly hair is typically way more dry. I have curly hair. Kayla has extremely curly hair.
My hair is curly when it's really long.
And if it's more on the dry side, then bleaching can be a little tricky. I would have recommended him just bleach again and then do a toner over it, and that would have gotten rid of the orange completely, and it would be fine if he educated himself.
What does toner do?
Toner is, it's like hair color, hair dye.
Yeah.
My mom always roasted me and made me say color instead of hair dye because you're coloring your hair, you're not dyeing your clothes.
Yeah. Okay.
But most professionals just say dye anyways. It doesn't really matter. It's just terminology.
Yeah.
Wow, I forgot my train of
What
thought
was-
there. Toner is just like any other hair color. It's either a blue pigment or you get purple pigment to counteract the color wheel spectrum of the orange to the yellow. Science and stuff,
Yeah,
color wheel
science.
theory, it just makes it more either silver or more bluish silver.
Is that the thing that they put in their hair and it looks purple but it comes out whiter?
Yes,
Ah.
exactly. That
Oh.
is what it does.
Okay.
It takes away that yellow pigment and makes it white.
Nice.
And it's wonderful. I have stuff in my bag. Actually, I forgot to take out because I went to Sally's yesterday. And I am planning on making my hair silver again. I did it once before in high school. I really, really liked it. And I regrettably cut off all my hair after that just because I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of dry.
I feel like every
But-
time you cut your hair, it's like a spur of the moment decision.
Yes, of course.
Yep.
I was very, very bored in high school. You were witness of it. You were... Kayla was in Kroger too when Dylan
I
and
still
I
thought
worked
it was
together.
cool.
I loved my hair. I still love my hair. It has grown out a lot, and it's finally all the same length after like 3 years.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, John just recently cut his hair because he had it almost like to his shoulders.
Yeah, you could tie it up in a ponytail.
Poor me.
Which is funny because like that was right before we did the picture. Well, Kayla drew the picture of our poster for the podcast, and he has long hair, and he was like, all right, I'm gonna cut it off now. So like John has short hair.
Because I
now.
had like the constant urge to just take it off. It's like, take it off. Like a little voice in my head all the time.
yeah, I used to love long hair. I always wanted my hair down to my butt, but now that my hair is short, no. If it's touching my neck, it's way too hot.
Mhm.
Most of the time, I'm just having the headbands in, and I can't even handle my hair around my face anymore now that I've had it shorts for so long.
Well, that's why I put my hair up in a bun nowadays, because my hair is about 3 inches away from touching my butt.
Oh my gosh.
And it gets really hot, yeah. So I just put it up in a ponytail or a bun, but I'm too scared to cut it off.
People are really sentimental about their hair and like to keep it, especially people who have had hair that are really, really long, or people who have had dreads in their hair for more than 10 years.
It's like your baby.
Right.
It is a baby, but it's a lot of weight to your head, and it can cause neck strain. And it's just really relieving once you do cut it off, but doing it is really nerve-wracking.
Right.
Yeah, I was so used to like brushing the hair out of my eyes, and so like after I cut my long hair, I woke up this morning and went to go brush the hair out of my eyes. I touched my scalp because my mom shaved my head. I was like, "What? Where'd my hair go?"
Yeah, I think it's also because like it takes so long for your hair to get to that point that where it's like when you want to cut it off, you're almost like, should I actually do it because you took all that time to grow it out?
Because it's your baby.
Yeah, it's your baby.
So, Dylan, I have a question for you.
Okay, what you got?
During the pandemic, how did it feel to have a Frat Boy Chad hairstyle?
Oh my gosh. So, for context, when the pandemic hit, I obviously couldn't go to a place to cut my hair. So, my hair grew out to not too long. It wasn't like, I've never had like seriously long hair like ever. But I had it where it was like it was really long on the sides and on like the top and like on the back of my head.
Was it like beaver hair?
Like beaver hair?
Yeah. Or is it
No.
like a mullet?
Or someone to describe the look?
Dylan, your hair's confusing because I never see it down, like straight down, because it's like permanently always going to the left.
Well, because my hair is always like wherever you move it, it'll always go back to like where it originally was. That's always just how my hair is.
It has a mind of its own.
Yeah, it does. It really does. But like when I had the long hair, it was like when I gelled it, I like had a whole like just palm hairstyle, like really big. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I did.
So cool.
Yeah, it was a straight pompadour hairstyle. Yeah, it was.
I wish I was you.
Soon as I was able to go back to a place to cut my hair, I went back to my original style.
I think you should have just kept it out. Just kept growing it out.
Well, I think the problem was that usually I have my hair longer on the top than anywhere else. So like the hair really, really shows when it grows out on the very top as opposed to the sides.
It was uneven.
Yeah, it was. That was the problem.
You could have like slicked it back, had like a cool mullet going.
Mm-hmm.
It's
With Marcus.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's really rough going with growing out your hair. From major experience, as I've shaved my hair, and now this is the longest it's been in 4 years. It's been really, really rough. I strained my hair the other week, and I recently just got a cut from my mom. It was very, very rough. Nothing was the same length. Just a whole train wreck on my head. But since I had my hair curly and just natural, it hit it, and now I'm scared to go back to curly since my hair's shorter. It's just gonna go up and be kind of an afro.
I think the only haircut I've done to myself was a buzz cut, because that's just so simple.
Yeah, that's really easy.
I mean, I thought about, like, as a joke, just like doing a cul-de-sac where you shave at the top and just leave the sides and back.
Oh no.
It was for like Halloween, but I was like, I don't want to do that, so I just shaved off all of my head.
Oh.
I actually helped one of my other friends. She wanted to cosplay Lex Luthor.
Oh yeah.
And he has a shaved head. And we shaved her head. She quickly just put on a wig because she didn't. It's hard to go out in public with a completely shaved head, especially as a woman. But I thought she looked great. She had. You never know your head shape until you actually shave your head.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I had a question for you. So for people, for people like doing makeup, hair, anything like that at home, what advice would you give them? It's basically anything really.
That you would have known in the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
Watch YouTube videos before you cut your hair and follow them closely. If you're not confident in what you're doing, go to a hairstylist. They might charge way too much, but in the end, at least you still have hair.
Yeah.
Really, whenever you're bleaching, this is a really, really good tip. Do not start with your roots. If you start with your roots with bleaching, they will process a lot more because there's heat coming off of your scalp, and heat activates the bleach. So that's what causes something called hot roots, where your roots are really brittle because they've been overprocessed, and they're literally white or yellow. Compared to the rest of your hair, that might still be a dark orange. And always start with the darker parts. It might be really hard to section your hair. There are lots of videos telling you exactly how to section your hair. Watch them, do it. It will take probably 5 minutes to completely section your hair and do it properly, and it just saves you a lot more time and making sure that you have everything even.
Would it be the same thing as like putting highlights in your hair? Because I've seen my mom do it on my sister. She puts like tinfoil on certain parts and...
Yes, tinfoil helps with keeping in the heat, which makes it process faster, so you don't have to keep it in your hair as long. Though, at one point, you can't really over-process your hair, especially if it's virgin hair, if you're putting bleach on it. At one point, it'll just stop processing. There's no point to go past, especially with just regular hair dye. You can leave it in for 2 hours, and it won't change the outcome. Honestly, you can color your hair as much as you want, and it will probably not damage your hair because it's just putting in pigment. It's not taking anything out. It's not stripping your hair.
Okay.
But if you use bleach, that's ruining your hair. That's why it's really hard for people with black hair or brown hair to go blonde. Because there's a lot of steps and a lot of hair levels that you need to go through to get that effect, and it's really hard to keep up because, your hair grows.
Were you planning to go?
You got a story about that,
I was about to ask.
Yes. So I don't really know much about hair. Honestly, I just pay someone else to do it for me.
Good choice.
And so I wanted like the Corella style hair in high school, but since my hair is so dark, they had to bleach it for the color to show through. And in the end, I got the Corella look, but at the cost of like half my hair being super brittle and it's still not fully recovered.
Yeah, the only way to go back from that is cutting it off or just waiting until it grows out.
Yeah.
Or Cruella. You mean Cruella de Vil?
Yeah, Cruella de Vil.
Like half white, half
No,
black
actually,
hair?
It was half blue and then my regular color hair.
Oh, cool.
Was it Melanie Martinez's hair? Is that what you meant?
Cruella de Vil.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
Melanie Martinez also has the same half and half style. It just depends on what color you want. I have also done half and half when I had that faux hawk. Half purple, half red I did. I absolutely loved it. I miss those colors. But I really have just grown to love the hair I have and the color it is, though, as I'm changing it.
Mm-hmm.
I used to absolutely hate my curly hair in high school. I would always have it straight, especially with my emo phase. That would make sense.
Yeah.
And only in the past couple of years, or even 2 years, I realized that I have really, really pretty curly hair. And I've just been leaving it do its own thing with helping it with products. And now I'm just really scared, now that my hair's short, to go back to that. I have it straight right now for that reason.
So what, I was going to ask, have you ever considered cosmetology school?
Yes. In high school, I was really considering going to the Tech Center for Cosmetology. It's a college prep program. It helps students and takes them off campus to go and study other things like baking, cosmetology, even working on cars. But I was kind of worried, as my family hasn't been that good with money.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to burden my mom and ask her if she could spend like $300 to let me go to cosmetology school in the tech program. And I was also looking into it after high school a little bit, because it was way too late for me to go to the tech program after that. And I just realized that it was probably too much money. And I didn't really want to go into it as a profession itself. I did at one point, but now I'm just living a comfortable desk work lifestyle, and I'd rather do hair and learn from YouTube on my friends and get paid like $20 instead of them going to somebody to cut their hair for $80 or $90.
Mm-hmm.
So you would do it more as like a hobby and
Yeah.
something fun to do than like an actual profession?
Yeah, so I'm definitely not a professional. Don't take any of my shit to heart, but YouTube, there's a lot of professionals on there, and they all have really great advice, especially the ones who actually know what they're doing and not just at home coloring my hair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that when you're trying to make your hobby or like whatever you love to do like into a career, I think that the demand by other people doesn't always match to what you specifically want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, you know, it's not as enjoyable that way. Like say that well I really like doing a lot of English, but like if I were to become a writer, which I want to be,
About an English teacher.
no. I do not want to be an English teacher. But if I wanted to be a writer, I'm sure I'd get people that would want me to do like certain books or like certain types of writing, or like if I was a journalist, write about certain things. I mean, that's just how, you know, careers go. People want you to do certain things because they like that specific thing the best.
The best thing to do is just say, screw you, I'll do what I want, and then probably surprise somebody. The only joy in life is doing whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
As long as it's not harm to other person.
Yep, I agree.
You get one shot at life. Do whatever you want while you still got it.
That's right. I agree too. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Especially with your hair. Hair is it grows back. Do whatever you want. Experiment. Have fun. It's your own head of hair. Nobody can tell you what you can and can't do unless it's your job.
Yeah.
But I don't get that. I don't like how some jobs don't let you have random color hair or even much tattoos. That's just, it's somebody's style. It doesn't say anything for their person or who they are or their work ethic.
Yeah.
Sure.
Somebody,
Sorry.
you're fine. Somebody could be like heavily tattooed and look really intimidating, but be the sweetest person you've ever met and have an amazing work ethic. And nobody will ever know that if they don't give them a try.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. What did you have to say, Kayla?
Oh, I was just gonna say that some jobs are starting to be a little bit more lenient on that now.
Yes.
Especially with the inclusivity with LGBT people coming out and Black Lives Matter and all of that stuff. politics.
I think they
Sort
just
of.
don't care anymore. They're just like, we need people to work, so let's just hire them.
Mm-hmm.
But Dylan, would you like to send us off with the question of the day?
Yes, I would. So, the question of the day is, what do you think is something that cosmetology students should be aware of? And how might cosmetology affect a client's daily life? Thank you guys so much for listening. Like and subscribe as always, and have a crabby morning.